Welcome to another episode of the Muffed Sports Show. I am your host, Hayden Haynes, and join me as always is Seth Killen and Cody Hart. What's up,
Yo, yo,
guys?
Hey,
yo.
How are we feeling
hey,
today?
feeling good 2-0.
Oh, I thought you were talking
2-0.
about your fantasy team.
Nope, my fantasy team is 0-2.
Hey, man, I think somebody else on this pod is 0-2, so they can
I
join you.
think so. I think the two time, is that
The-
right?
Oh,
Or more like the
was the
0 and
two
2
time for
time.
0-2? Or I didn't know how that worked.
It's an off season right now. Long
Dude,
off season.
It's
Still
off season?
honestly,
celebrating. Still celebrating.
You're still
I'm still
celebrating? He's
celebrating.
got the Super Bowl hangover right now.
Dude, it's crazy.
I mean,
Dude,
hey, we'll get into the injuries and how it's been just destroying fantasy right now. I don't even know
yeah,
how I'm 2-0 in our league. Speaking of the
cheating.
fantasy, speaking of fantasy,
Speaking of cheating.
the other league is our dynasty, and we are both, or I think we're all what 2-2 right now.
I think so.
Yeah,
I might be
thanks.
th
Nah, you're 2-2, but don't worry, you're 2-2. I
I
checked.
don't know. I'm about
I
to
was making
check
sure
right
Cody
now.
was 2-2, but yeah. The only person that is not 2-2 is
Yeah.
Griffin at 0-4.
Oh my God.
And Mason Guillermo, he's at the top 4-0. But
Guillermo.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we're gonna touch on some fantasy, guys. We just kind of want to start out just talking about that. Just fantasy football is in full swing, obviously.
It
But we
is.
had a big show today. We're not gonna yap as much as we did yet or last week. That was a long episode, but that was because we had a guest. We were having fun, and we really were just dissecting everything. But we're gonna focus on the main games that happened and kind of just go through the college football recap of week 3 and then predict week 4 and then obviously talk about NFL week 2 that just happened and then looking at week 3 coming up. So let's get right into it, guys. Obviously, week 3 started out on Friday last week. It was a top 25 showdown in the Big 12. But Cody, I didn't know this and we didn't talk about it last time. Kansas State and Arizona, even though they are now in the same conference, that technically wasn't a conference game because apparently they made this schedule before they figured out Arizona was joining the conference. So it didn't technically count as a real conference game because they didn't want to mess up. Like they didn't want to take them off the schedule essentially and make it complicated. So they left the game there. But to say all that, they battled it out, but it will not hurt Arizona's conference standings, even though they lost 31-7. And
Yeah.
we all picked Arizona, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I
I
think we
believe we
did.
did.
That was tough because Noah Fafita and his star wide receiver, they couldn't connect a lot and their defense was bad. But story of that game was pretty much Avery Johnson looking like a dog and he was running all over them and just putting up some good stats again and they're looking tough. So Kansas State moves on, obviously undefeated still, so they'll be a threat in that conference like we always expected. Probably them and Utah and
Yeah,
Oklahoma State,
100%.
which they play. Oklahoma State and Utah play this week, so we're going to touch on that big conference game for Big 12. And then another crazy game that we had was South Carolina over LSU, but it did
Dude,
not pan out like
so
that.
close.
36-33, LSU takes the win. But I want to just say two things. If you didn't watch the game, the quarterback for South Carolina, Lenore Sellers, got hurt in the end of the first half, and they put in Robbie Ashford, who we went to school with. We didn't really know him because we were older, but he did go to our high school, and he played at Auburn. He played at Oregon, and now he's over at South Carolina, and he's basically a one-dimensional running quarterback right now, Cody, even though he's
Yeah.
been around for a minute. And I will say that it looked like they just kind of LSU just kind of called back up because South Carolina couldn't really throw the ball. So, but the other thing, Cody, I don't know if you watched the end of that game, and I know it was
Dude,
talked about a
yeah.
lot was the refs and how bad they were, and they
Mm-hmm.
botched
They
a
were
I heard
couple
about
of
horrible.
that.
couple of key plays, and I think we could touch on that right now if we wanted to. I don't really know the exact because I was flipping all over. I watched a lot of that
Most.
game, but I know that there was a lot of bad calls at the end. Basically, one of them was a PI that happened, and then I think what was the other one, Cody? There was something crazy that happened
Uh,
in that game.
Hold on, I can look.
We'll have to look it up, guys. But I know that South Carolina fans are pissed about it, and this particular referee crew has been a little bit sketchy at times in the past. I think they've called some Alabama games that have been a little bit interesting to say the least. So to say all that, South Carolina really had a chance to win. I think it was a pick six. That's what it was. I'm
It
sorry,
might
it's
have.
coming it's coming back to me. It was a pick six South Carolina had later in the game, and they ran it back. Now South Carolina blocked the quarterback for LSU, right? Because you're running the ball back to score. You want to get the lanes open. They blocked the quarterback for LSU. Nothing bad, nothing at all. And they called like blocking in the back or whatever the call was on that guy that blocked Nussmeier. So it was very, very, very sketchy. Weird Vegas stuff going on in that game. It seemed
Weird
like
Vegas stuff.
So South Carolina, that sucks for them, man, because they played a good game
They
and
played a really good game.
they were up big in the beginning,
Yeah,
they looked good.
They just let them come back. I mean,
Yeah, they were up 17-0.
both of these
You
teams
lose your
are
quarterback and the refs get involved. It's a hard recipe.
Yep.
hard recipe.
Can't really overcome that, man. So we'll keep going on for week 3 games. Bama obviously takes down Wisconsin 42-10 on the road, and that was pretty much never a game once Tyler Van Dyke got hurt, and unfortunately he's out for the remainder of the season, I'm sorry, with an ACL injury. Basically got tackled early on in the game. Wasn't like the tackle made him get hurt, but essentially he's just been injury prone and he's older, and it kind of caught up to him, and it looks like his career might be over, which is sad. Maybe he gets to come back with a medical red shirt. I'm not sure for his 6th year, which is crazy. But prayers up to him. And Alabama just looked pretty good, Cody. Obviously, I think Cody, I want to fact check this after this, but I'm almost positive Cody nailed the score prediction. 42-10. Because my mom was like, I think Cody got that right. I think it was 42-10. But either way, we were all close.
Put that down.
Yeah, I mean that would.
You know what I'm talking about? It's Bama all day.
Dude, Cody, if you put like an exact score bet on that, oof, the profit would have been nice.
It would have been crazy.
I don't know if you can do that on Hard Rock, but I know some sports books let you.
Yeah.
But Bryce, I'm sorry, Bryce. I'm gonna talk about Bryce Young. R.I.P. Bryce.
Yeah.
Jalen Milroe had 5 touchdowns, 3 passing, 2 rushing. He was dominating. His Heisman odds are going up, and it looks like Bama's defense played a clean game, got 2 fumble recoveries, so not too much to complain. The only thing is they did lose 3 players during the game. One was Malachi Moore, the star safety, with a concussion, and he's had one in the past, so this is something to monitor before the Georgia game, but luckily they have a bye week. And then another huge one was Quay Russaw, number 4, coming off the edge. He had a lower leg injury, but it's not really season ending, but it looks like he could be out for some time. And then our 3rd string running back, Richard Young, a beast. He got nicked up pretty bad on that last kind of few drives, and essentially it was a lower leg injury too. It could be out for a while. I'm not sure the extent of that, but it's tough. But you go on the road, you expect to lose some guys here and there. But as long as they get healthy for this Georgia game, I think it's still going to be pretty much what everybody's expecting, a big SEC showdown to start out Kalen DeBoer's career.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've heard Trump's even coming to this game. Like that's like,
I think everybody's going to be at this game. It's going to be like the game I went to in 2019 when I was in school was that
LSU.
Joe Burrow team came to town and Trump was there, and it was pretty crazy. Like getting into that stadium, I will say, was impossible. I've never seen Tuscaloosa that congested. Like
it's gonna be just like
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to get into the stadium like 2 hours before, and it was standing room basically only in the student section. You couldn't sit. Everybody was like sardines together. I literally I was in a cast because I tore my wrist or whatever, and I'm sitting there like all I want to do is just sit down and like just like in between the the timeouts and stuff, but you literally couldn't. And I was getting so heated, man, that whole game, because it was a tough one. But it should be a crazy environment. We'll talk about that a little bit next week, because that's not this week, but the next week, because both teams have a bye. Another big game was Missouri and Boston College. We talked about this, Cody, being a game of the week. 27-21 Mizzou wins. Boston College scored late. Mizzou kind of controlled most of this game. Early on, it was a little back and forth, but it looks like Missouri just kind of controlled most of that. So pretty much what we expected there, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought maybe Missouri was going to kind of pull away at the end, but they didn't. I mean, that was a close game. I watched a good bit of that game, actually, and it was competitive. Like, Boston College was hanging in there for sure. Like, that's a good Boston College team.
I was about to say, yeah, they're definitely not a team to sleep on.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, after being Florida State, but I mean, I guess it's not too much.
Yeah, but Boston College is definitely pretty solid. Definitely a good top 25 team. So yeah, and then Oregon destroyed Oregon State. So that's Oregon's first like big win of the year, essentially, because I mean, for one, they blow somebody out, And the first two games, they just were struggling to really separate from the other teams they were playing. And they took care of business 49-14 at Oregon State, who they are rivals with. Obviously, they're not in
They
the same
did.
conference anymore, but it's still a big game for them, for those Oregon boys. But
We're cooking.
the
They
last thing,
finally they
yeah,
finally looked like a legit team,
Yeah.
yeah,
like
The
like how
quarterback.
they're supposed to look.
Yep, I agree.
yeah,
The quarter Dylan
Dylan,
was
yeah,
20 and
Jaden,
20 for 24.
like come on,
yeah.
dude.
Like
We
that
have
boy was just
him
straight
in
dots.
the preseason. I know we talked about our Heisman hopefuls, and he was one of them. So
Yeah.
maybe he'll turn it back around after that performance. I know for sure right now we're kind of crushing our other picks like Jalen Milrow and Cam Ward.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
one guy that we have not really nailed was Luther Burden being a dark horse. He finally scored this past week, actually, I will say, but for Missouri. And but before that, he was not really doing a whole lot in that offense. So I don't think he'll be in the Heisman talks unless he just goes nuclear the rest of the year. But anyways, getting a little sidetracked, talking about Heisman hopefuls. But the last thing is Georgia and Kentucky. Now that was an
Awful.
absolute just defensive struggle, like it has been the last few times they've played in Kentucky. It looks like Kentucky's got their number for whatever reason. Mark Stoops just knows how to play defense against Kirby Smart's offense.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's just tough to see like Kentucky lose that game because they had a situation kind of like South Carolina where there was a pick six. I don't know if you saw that,
I
Cody, but
did.
it was a pick six, and I was losing my mind. I'm like, oh
I
my
was going
gosh, they're
crazy. I
about to win
remember
this game.
we were just texting each other, going crazy.
Dude,
They're
and
like,
the ball, I guess, hit the ground on that and it popped up. But when you look at it, it's very bang bang. It looks like
yeah,
like sometimes they let you, the rules or the refs or whatever, kind of say like, okay, you can assist the catch via the ground only so much, but you have to have like secure control, I guess. But in this situation, they did not say it was, they said it was incomplete. So I don't know. Like they were saying, the ball hit the ground too much. It was incomplete. Didn't matter if the ball popped up and the Kentucky guy ran it back. Like that's just what it is, I guess. But to say all that, I mean, Kentucky still played an amazing game. But the one thing, Cody, that everybody's talking about is why at the end of the game, when it was 13-9, I believe,
hmm,
why did or no, it was 13-12, and Kentucky had the ball driving, and they were like crossing the 50. They decided to essentially punt, I believe. Was that what that's what happened, right? They decided to punt, and they did not try to go for it and be aggressive at the end to where you would think, you would want to take that shot to
yeah.
put yourself over the
Do it,
hump to
yeah.
win against a top number one team in the country.
Literally top 3
So
team.
everybody was on their coach about that. Like, why is Mark Stoops just being conservative? Blah blah blah.
I mean, I guess maybe he just thought his defense could lock him up after
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah, the whole game. But the
the
thing
whole
is, like,
game
when you're
doing
one of
it.
those teams like Kentucky who just got
Yeah.
destroyed last week,
Yep.
31-6 at home
Like,
by South Carolina, why do you not go for it?
what do you got to lose?
You don't have
Yeah,
anything
you
to
don't have
lose.
anything. Yeah,
You're
that's a
not
good
Go
playing
for
point.
it.
for a
Yeah.
playoff spot. Like, you're just trying to win. So I don't know. That was very concerning if you're a Kentucky fan, I gotta say.
Hmm.
Um, and whenever
Yep.
I'm asking you, Cody, like, is just confirm, like, is that what happened? Because I have seen so many games right now, like
Dude, I
NFL,
know.
college, that like my brain is like fried, and I'm just thinking, like, is that exactly what happened? I'm trying to remember, but I got to take better notes, I guess. That's something we're
No,
gonna
I
have
do
to
too.
do and learn. But I'm just going off the dome for the most
Off the
part.
dome piece.
But I do have a pretty good recollection. I'm pretty sure that is what happened. He did decide to punt, and that was the end of that. So, but to say all that, I think Carson Beck got banged up in that game, but he's going to be all right. The rumor is on the Georgia boards, on their message boards, that it's his non-throwing AC joint sprain, which is what Bryce had on his actual throwing arm at Bama on that year
Yeah.
that he was out a little bit when Miller had to fill in. So it shouldn't bother Carson Beck because it's not his throwing arm. So he'll be all right. And they did lose today one of their offensive linemen to some kind of ankle surgery, I believe. So he will not be in there. But I want to touch on Georgia a little bit. They did not look good, obviously, for a number of reasons. One thing is that a lot of people would talk about Georgia does not have a lot of the depth that they've had in the past on defense. They had
Mm-mm.
apparently their defensive line were playing like 53 snaps, and the next closest was like 17. So they're not rotating a lot of these linemen like they usually do. So
Yeah.
it's a little concerning. You can kind of, you can
Definitely
only do
getting
that.
gassed.
Yeah, you can only do that so much in the SEC. So if you don't have the depth right now, I mean, it's going to be tough for them to stay healthy and hang around these big games.
I
For
agree.
sure. For sure. Like they need to, like you said, they need to start moving their players around, keeping them healthy on the field. I mean, And Georgia's crazy. I mean, they
You've
be
seen
running.
Bama. Bama's moved around a lot of guys so far, Cody. Like
Exactly.
they
Like
played a lot.
we're rotating almost every other play on defense. Like we're bringing fresh guys
And
in.
offense too. You know, the O line's
Exactly.
played a
Yeah.
lot. So
And I mean, obviously, like you said, I think they need to do that as well because they're talented. I mean, regardless, it's Georgia. Like they got players. So
yeah.
I mean, you got to put them in if your guys just
You
gassed.
guys guessed, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
And you know, they're struggling on the O line. That's supposed to be one of their strengths. It's not
Hmm.
looking too gelled right now. They just lost that guy, like I mentioned, so it's going to be tough. But basically, Carson Beck didn't look great. The wide receivers haven't really shined like they've been talked about. You know, we know Dylan Bell's supposed to be good. They got
Hmm.
some guys, but you know, it's just right now not clicking. Like at least that game, it didn't click. I should say. I'm not just
Yeah.
gonna over analyze it too much because they've struggled with Kentucky for whatever reason many times. So we'll move on. We'll talk about Georgia Bama next week. They're on by, so don't worry about that. We got some other games to talk about. And Seth, if you want, you can pull up the matchups for the week.
yes,
Um,
sir.
the game day this week is a fun one, guys.
It's great.
It's a great one. We've had some good ones so far. This is going to be on 7:30 ABC. Tennessee at Oklahoma. Head coach Josh Heupel goes back to his former school, Oklahoma, where he played quarterback and was
That's gonna be
successful.
wild.
So they're ready for that game. Obviously, both coaches need this huge win earlier in their careers because Brent Venables obviously hasn't done a lot because you know he struggled that first year. They had a better year last year with Dylan Gabriel, but this year, you know, it's this would be a big one. So they got to take care of business. Obviously, if they want to stay alive for the playoffs, there's a lot of hard games coming up for both these teams. Obviously, being in the SEC. Now, Nico Iamaleava has looked really good this year. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the country. He was one of the best coming out of high school. And then you have Jackson Arnold, the quarterback for Oklahoma. And essentially, so far, Tennessee's offense is unstoppable. They can run on anybody, they can throw on anybody because of the way
Yeah,
they play.
they're looking nasty.
So, Cody, what do you see happening in this game, and any surprises?
I like both of these teams. Like I really do. I think both of these teams are talented, but for some reason, like it's a night game in Oklahoma. Like that's just,
It's gonna be interesting.
it's gonna be crazy.
Maybe this is the game. Like maybe Oklahoma hasn't shown their cards fully, and they're ready to just
They're
unleash
ready
their
to let it out.
offense.
I mean, this should be
That's,
the game.
that's what
Right.
I'm saying. But at the same time, like Tennessee, they're good.
Right now,
We're seeing
Tennessee
it.
is favored by 7.5. Yeah.
Damn. So they have to be. Oh,
See, the
So
thing is, I like Oklahoma's quarterback Jackson Arnold. Isn't that? Yeah,
yeah, Jackson Arnold.
but I need to see a little bit more like consistency.
Right. He's a
I
dual
mean,
threat. He's got 484
he is.
passing, 7 tutties, and then he's got 159 rushing and 2 tutties. So
Mhm.
he's played solid. He's
wow.
only got
159 rushing.
yeah. I mean, he's only got 2 picks so far. I mean,
He's played good, like
he's
really
played
good.
solid football. The one thing is Samson for
It's
Tennessee,
easy.
Dylan Sampson, the running back, is a monster right now. He has 9 touchdowns and 357 yards through 3 games.
Oh my lord.
Yeah,
He's
I mean, they
eating.
don't call you Samson for nothing.
I guess he's living up to the name.
He
So
is.
they can
But
run on a lot of people, man. Oklahoma, obviously, their coach is known for defense. They should be obviously throwing the kitchen sink at Tennessee's offense, but really we've seen Tennessee just go crazy on teams. You know, obviously they blew out North Carolina State 51-10 earlier in the
mhm.
season.
Mhm.
Houston almost beat Oklahoma week 2, 16-12 was that score. So that was ugly. But
I
to say
just.
all that, Oklahoma beat a good Tulane team 34-19 this past Saturday.
But this is
Mhm.
their first real battle here.
I
Correct.
just, I
I don't
think
know,
I gotta
man. I
go
feel
with.
like
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, Seth. I
Yeah.
think I got
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I'm
Yeah.
going I'm going Tennessee because the fact that they can run the ball, man. That's when you run the
Yeah,
ball on the road, it's a big
yeah.
deal. You
It
can
is
win
huge.
games.
Oh,
So
dude, if you can, are you able to run the ball, especially not only at like home, but if you're away and you're able to control the game and run the
right.
ball,
It takes a
and
lot of
Yeah.
pressure off of Nico. And then
oh,
let's say they want to make Nico throw and they sell out on the run. Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck.
Nico's got one of the best arms. So have
he's a
fun with
beast.
that.
Like
Um,
I think
Yeah,
this Oklahoma defense is really good though. Like every defense that Brett Venables he's been a
it's a
part of,
good one. It
like
is a good one. You
he
know,
is he's always had a really good defense because he's a defensive minded coach. I mean,
right?
spent all them years at Clemson being the defensive coordinator, won two natties there.
Holding teams
Like,
to 11 points per game right now. I know they've only played Houston and Tulane and Temple, but I
I mean,
mean,
still,
still, it's respectable, and I think that it's gonna be a good game. I think Oklahoma can stay in this game, but it's gonna come up to Jackson Arnold on offense, protecting the
that's yeah,
ball, using his legs, extending plays, not turning the ball over any kind of way, any running backs fumbling, any picks, blah blah blah, and no penalties at home. You can't mess up at home. You got to be clean. You got to stay focused. And then that's your only shot because I do not know how much you're going to stop Tennessee's running game. And like I said, if they want to stop Nico, okay, well, then you got to stop Dylan Sampson and vice versa. So
Yep.
mhm,
Facts.
very tough Tennessee team. Tennessee's looking like literally they're number 6 right now. They're one of the best teams in the country. I'm
easily.
I'm gonna go Tennessee in the shootout. I'd probably say I know the defense is good for Oklahoma, but I still think this is kind of one of those shootout games just because they haven't seen a team like Tennessee. And Tennessee's
Mhm.
defense has been underwhelming. They've only created a few sacks so far, and they have one of the best pass rushers in the upcoming NFL draft. He was like number one on a lot of big boards. So
Yep.
Pierce Jr. They haven't really got a lot of sacks like I just mentioned. So I think that's gotta that's got to improve for Tennessee. They got to get pressure on the road against a good quarterback. So it'll be a fun game. Give me like 38-28 or something, Tennessee, or thirty-eight
That's
twenty-seven.
that's what I was gonna say. Is if this Tennessee defense doesn't step up, like they could easily lose this game because, like
Yeah,
we've said, Brett Venables and having a good defense, like he's a defensive minded coach, and now I mean obviously he's the head coach, but
right.
like if they can't if they can't score, then Oklahoma's gonna easily
They're
win this. Like
cooked.
they're good
Yeah,
on both sides of the ball. Like they're very balanced. I'm gonna say that Oklahoma's a very balanced team.
yeah,
Like they can do everything. Very balanced. And but I still like Tennessee, even though. But like I said, if that defense doesn't step up, it could be a long night for the Vols.
yeah. Well, moving on, we do have a game Friday on Fox, another top 25 matchup back-to-back weeks on a Friday, which is fun. I like that we're getting good games on a
Mm-hmm.
Friday.
I
But
do
this one
too.
better
Yeah.
be better than the last week. So Illinois 24, Nebraska's 22 going into Nebraska. Rayola, the freshman quarterback phenom that looks like Mahomes, literally,
Yep.
Yeah.
and acts just
Literally
like
doing
him.
his pregame celebration.
Yeah. Let's see how he does in the top 25 matchup. I know they beat Colorado. I know that was a good performance, but this is a better team than Colorado, I would say, all around in Illinois. So, Illinois' quarterback, he's clean right now. He's got 6 tutties, 647 yards, no picks. You know, receiver is a beast. They have a receiver, Pat Bryant. He's got 4 touchdowns and 235 yards already. So we got to
He's
watch
going
out for
crazy.
him. He might
Good
go
lord.
crazy. Obviously, Rayola 670 and 5 tutties, 1 pick, and then they got a running back in Dowdle. I don't know if he's related to Rico. I have no idea, but he does have some good numbers so far. He's looking solid. So I think this should be a fun game. I don't know. I think it's 7.5 as a spread, favored for Nebraska.
I
I
like
don't
it.
know too much about Illinois. I'm gonna go with the home team because I like
Yeah.
Rayola so much, and
I
as
do
far as a
like Rayola.
player, like how he's playing right now as a young guy. So actually, it opened at 8.5. Now it's 7.5. Okay, so moved the point down,
Mm.
but it's whatever. I mean, it should be a closer game than it. It could be. I feel like a 10-point win or so for Nebraska should be about right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say like I was watching something on this earlier today, just like kind of previewing the game,
Mm-hmm.
and they were they were talking, and I agree with them, but they were talking about how if you expect this game to be a really high scoring, you got the wrong game. Like this
Yeah.
could be a barn burner. Like obviously it's going to be a good game, but it's going to. And I agree with
Defense could step up.
yeah, I think these two defenses are going to step up, but I think it's going to be just hard hitting game. Like in
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska, I like Rayola, man. Like I do. He's looked good all
Mm-hmm.
year, and I think that defense is going to be able to step up. And I'm not taking like I like this Illinois team. I like Luke Altmaier, their quarterback, and Pat
Yeah.
Bryant, but I think this Nebraska team is just hot right now at home. Give me Nebraska in a really close game.
Yeah. Illinois did beat Kansas, who was ranked 19 at the time. Kansas now has obviously lost twice, so they're not as good as people thought. But at the time when they beat Kansas, it was 23-17. They struggled. Illinois struggled to run the ball. They only averaged 2.3 a carry. So you cannot go on the road and do that.
Nope.
You got to be able to run the ball. If not, it's going to be a long day, I feel like, for Illinois. So that'll be a fun one on Friday. And then obviously we got a good ACC game, but I think Clemson should have handled North Carolina State at home because
Yeah,
NC
that's easy money.
State's disappointed.
Yeah, Clemson's drumming them.
Yeah, I mean, NC State could surprise us, but Clemson
They
did
could, but
kill
they're
App
down.
State.
They're down Grayson McCall. I'm pretty sure they're a little banged up. I mean, they got a new quarterback coming in, a backup. I just like Clemson. I think they cover the spread too.
Clemson's favored by 20.5.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna drum them.
Clemson obviously got killed by Georgia and then turned around and beat App State 66-20 and surprised a lot of people.
I feel like that's exactly what the score is going to be like for this game.
Yeah, I mean, it could be crazy. I mean, NC State's defense does not look great. So we'll see. And then this game is honestly, I don't even want to really talk about this one too much, but Florida and Mississippi State are both terrible. Florida's really looking like they might be one of the worst teams in the conference. They keep losing when they really shouldn't. And they're getting blown out in these games too. So I don't know if they'll beat Mississippi State on the road. I really don't.
Especially with them Cowbells.
No, give me the Cowbells, man.
I like the Cowbells.
Yeah. Give me the State. Give me State, man.
I'll probably just. I don't know why Mississippi State scares me for some reason, but I'll go with them because, like you said, the Cowbells. But moving on to an actual good game is USC versus Michigan, and
this is
I think this is gonna be a fun game just because we're gonna finally see. I think Alex Orji is gonna start and play the whole game.
He is starting.
Their quarterbacks before Davis Warren was one of the worst I've ever seen. 6 interceptions, 2 touchdowns.
Oh my God.
He threw 3 last week against a not so great opponent. He's done. So Miller Moss comes into town with USC and they're good high powered offense. But USC's story this year is that they have played better defense. Now, defense and against a team like Michigan who likes to run the ball. I want to see how Alex Orji uses his legs, but I do want to just go ahead and say I think USC handles this game, and it will start slow probably, but they'll probably do what Texas did eventually and pull away and win comfortably.
Yeah, I like that. This next one though.
Next one, Arkansas at Auburn, and both these teams need this win bad.
Yeah, I was about to say. I feel like every year we play Arkansas, it's always fucking close as hell.
So Auburn put in Hank Brown last week, who played pretty solid. But the thing is, he played New Mexico. So
yeah, we do.
We got to see how this goes against Arkansas. Basically, Taylon Green for Arkansas is a dual threat monster, but the dude is so raw, so young. He is so inefficient at throwing. He is very hit or miss. It's kill you, with running and then launch it deep and pray because he's not going to hit a lot of these quick, efficient routes and intermediate throws, and he's going to throw for like 50% and just run on you. So Auburn's got to stop him running, but Arkansas blew that game against Oklahoma State a couple weeks ago. So I mean, they've looked a little sketchy at times. Auburn has looked really rough at times, but last week was better with Hank Brown. So we'll see how that goes, Cody. Right. And I think I'll just probably lean Auburn just because it's a home game. But
I like that.
I'm just going because Hank Brown gives them a new spark. But like either way, both these teams are just struggling. They need to really win this game, and I think both coaches need this because I think I think Hugh Freeze needs it obviously, but it's not like he'll get fired if he loses this. But Arkansas's coach, on the other hand,
Sam Pittman
is on the hot seat. So and especially with your OC, who was the former Arkansas coach a long time ago,
really good coach at the time too.
Yeah, you just got to win these games in the SEC. It's a tough one on the road, I know, but I'm going to go Auburn in a close battle.
I love that.
I agree. I think this game. It's going
to be fun, though. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be on this game. You know what? For the boys, I'll go Auburn. I think what Auburn needs to do is slow the game down, really control the game. Obviously, the environment, it's going to be a crazy atmosphere. It's Jordan Hare.
Yeah.
But I think they really need to lean on the run game. You got Jarquez Hunter back there. He's a monster.
Yeah, get the ball to
Feed
Cam
him the
Coleman,
ball
Perry
and set up
Thompson.
your little pass plays and win the game. You already got an okay defense. Let them that you can Auburn can win this game now.
But the biggest thing though is that Arkansas can
This
run
tape,
that rock.
that's what I'm
Not with
saying.
not with just their quarterback, but also their
Raheem
running back.
Sanders is a
No, it's Jaquindon Jackson.
Jaquindon Giant. He's at South Carolina, right?
Yeah. Anyways, they are just running that rock. That's like
Yeah.
what their strength is, which on the road it's a good thing to have. So I mean that's the one thing they would have to do to win is do that plus not turn the ball over and try to get Hank Brown pressured and get in his face and make him throw some picks. But
Mhm.
I do think it's gonna be a battle to the end. I really do.
I do too.
Um,
Yeah, I like Jaquindon Jackson. I don't know why I was thinking.
Yeah, Jaquindon Jackson, he's got 6 tutties, 397 yards, and then Taylor Green obviously is pretty good running. I mean, he's only thrown 3 touchdowns. He's got 2 picks, 806 yards passing because he's throwing for a lot of yards, but
Mhm.
he does have 4 rushing touchdowns, 245 rushing. So they kill you on the ground. So Auburn's
Yeah,
got to be able to stop that rushing attack. So we'll
that's the
see.
key to the game right there. We just said it is
Yeah,
if Auburn are able to stop the run, then they can win the game easy.
yeah.
Make them pass.
This game, Cody, coming up is a big one. Utah with Cam Rising back, healthy. I don't know how healthy, but he's back at Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma State looked like they were going to have a Heisman winner this year, possibly after last season with Ollie Gordon, but he is only averaging 70 yards rushing, and it's not good. And
Yes.
they're throwing that ball with Bowman. So that's been a surprise, but that to me is not good because if you can't run at home against this Utah defense, and they're well coached. Cam Rising can light you up a little bit,
Oh, he can
and
destroy you.
they got a good defense. And I'm gonna go with Utah because I got them winning this conference. So I'm picking Utah, but I don't know if it will be like a close game, but I do think it will be an entertaining game. I think Utah pulls away at the end.
Yeah, I like Utah in this just because I mean, like you said, Ollie Gordon hasn't done much, and I think they need to really get that running game really going. Like lean on it. Like you just had the best back in all of college football last year, and now he's not doing nothing. Like you
Right.
got to get that man rolling on offense, and you got to be able to control this game because Cam Rising is a really good QB and they got good weapons. But this defense for Utah, I, they're always phenomenal. Like always well prepared, ready for any game. Like
Yeah.
give me the Utes. I just like this. I just like this Utah team a little bit better than I do Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma
And
State.
So I don't know. I think this will be a fun game, but I do like Utah, man. So give me
Mm-hmm.
Utah on the road in a big conference matchup. And then
We.
obviously these last. All right, go ahead, Cody. My bad.
I was going to say we've been high on Utah all year. Like I'm
Yeah,
still
I
high
think
on
it's going
Utah.
to be them and Kansas State for this conference.
I do too.
I really do.
I could see
So
that.
Miami goes to South Florida. They should take care of business, but it's we saw what happened to Bama last year, South
Yeah.
Florida, Cody. We were there.
Mm-hmm.
We know how crazy that place can be, and how weird it gets. So Cam Ward should light him up, though. I'm not gonna lie. He should be able to cook. But
Hey, gotta look out for that USF quarterback by what's his name, Byron Brown.
yeah, he can run.
Watch out for him now.
He's a little dual threat, so you
He's
gotta
a
watch
little
out
good.
for him.
Not Miami handling business.
And then we don't even gotta mention this game really. Cal
Yeah.
could beat
Just
Florida
breeze
Cal
State.
beat
past
Florida
these.
State is about to be
Yeah.
0-4.
Yep.
Yeah. Colorado and Baylor should be interesting at night. It should
That'll
be a
be a fun
fun
game to
game.
watch. Yeah.
I am gonna go Colorado because I don't think Baylor's that good, but
Yeah.
that's just
I'm
because
excited to see
Colorado's at
Travis Hunter
home.
score. And
He had a big game last week.
yeah, I saw him and Kai were on stream, and Kai's
Yeah,
got him touchdown dances to do.
I saw that little Iris dance he was doing, and then the
That's
one where
just
he's
gonna be so
just crawling,
crawling.
crazy. I was
Dude,
like,
I
what?
want to see that shit
What would
so
that look
bad.
like on national television?
Oh, dude, people are gonna be on his ass.
That's gonna be funny,
I'm
man.
looking
But
at Baylor real quick.
Colorado's only favored by 1.5, though. So we
Could
know
be a close
Colorado
game.
doesn't play
Yeah.
great defense. They don't have a good line, but Baylor, they're struggling, but
Mhm.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know too much about
Yep.
Baylor. I will say, they hung in there with Utah a little bit, but they just couldn't score. So they played a solid defense.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to pick Baylor, but then I looked at their stats and I was like, hey,
Yeah, I just think the Shador and Travis Hunter connection is going to be too lethal at home.
It is
I do
pretty
too.
lethal.
Especially a night game. That play's
Yeah,
always
that's
going
going
to
to
be.
be there will be juice. So, and they're trying to at least do better than what they did last year. So, I mean,
I think they will.
yeah. So, anyways, so after that, let's talk about the NFL games that just happened.
Uh-oh.
There
We
we
don't
go.
you don't have to bring
There
up
we
the
go.
picture yet, Seth, but
yep,
we'll
yep.
just break down what just happened. So essentially, the biggest thing to talk about, the Bills on last Thursday night's game beat the hell out of the
Washed
Dolphins,
The
31
Bills
to 10.
washed them.
Tua obviously suffered that tragic concussion. Now he is on IR, and it looks like he does not have any plans to retire, even though everybody's saying he should.
Dude, that's insane.
But the one thing I wanted to bring up about that, I know it's not good, it doesn't look good when he does the fencing posture and all that stuff. But I think since he's done that injury that happened last week and the one 2 years ago on prime time against the Bengals where it first happened, it makes it look worse, obviously. But the one thing I will say is that there is so many players in this league that has the same amount, if not more, concussions that Tua has, and they're still playing. Denzel Ward is one of them, the DB, star DB for the Browns. He's had multiple concussions like this. They don't do the fencing posture.
So bad.
He just has the fencing posture thing, which it happens, and it doesn't happen to everybody, but fortunately, it happens to Tua. So they're gonna look at it differently. Obviously, they just paid all that money. It's a hot topic, but to say all that, I mean, he's on IR, so they're gonna have to do without Tua for 4 games minimum, and then we'll see if he can clear the medical protocol like he did. It took him a while that first time it happened, so we'll see when he comes back. Prayers up to Tua. We respect all that he's done for Alabama and everything else, but we want him to obviously stay healthy. So that's going to be something to monitor.
Yeah, we do.
But concussions are real, and it happens to so many people. I think Joe Burrow's had a lot of concussions too, but that they don't talk about it like that because it's not like one of those things you see that's like scary, like Tua's, where he was on the stretcher that first time and whatever.
People with Tyreek are probably cooked.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
They're so cooked.
That's all I can think about when I think to his
Peyton just kept him for what?
For nothing. For nothing.
For a bag of rocks.
Hey, he could. It's always Tyreek though. He could somehow.
I mean, it is what it is. Skylar Thompson, I picked him up in the dynasty.
Oh, I bet you did, bud.
I have Matt Stafford as my QB2. He has no weapons. I don't know what to do. So I picked him up.
Oh shit.
Obviously that's going to be tough for the Dolphins, so we'll see what happens. Then we got Vikings, who surprised a lot of people, beating the Niners, and that was a close game.
I love that.
Kind of, but they really controlled a lot of that game because Brian Flores and the defense schemed up a crazy defense, and Brock Purdy was seeing ghosts out there at times. He was. Niners ran that rock. Jordan Mason had a great game again, 100 yards and a tutty. Love that for my boy, but they got the L. Niners lost Debo, but it looks like it's not going to be that long. And then I think Kittle got banged up a little bit, but they're down CMC.
What about Gritty?
Gritty's good. They said he's playing.
Oh,
yeah. Gritty had one of the most amazing plays I've seen. 97-yard tutty, caught the ball, then he ran 50 yards to the right and scored. And hit the Gritty on you, Seth.
Nah.
But Justin Jefferson's looking like him.
No, I think he's looking like he's about to get
the best
hurt.
receiver in the league was going to be good.
Wow. Who would have guessed that he limped off the field after?
And he's playing in practice today. So
barely.
Well, he's playing. So
he out there.
He ain't getting 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he's almost there already.
Oh,
No, he ain't.
Says he's praying on his downfall. Meanwhile, CeeDee Lamb sat out of practice today.
Dude, yep. When did that come into play?
I don't know.
That was so random. I saw that today at work. I was like, yeah, just make my day a little better.
Yeah. Woo. Chargers.
I am hyped about Debo though. Brandon Ayuk. Get up there now.
Yeah, what's he been doing?
Where you been at?
Where you been?
He was begging for all that money for what, bro?
I don't know.
For nothing.
That's what happens when you're not in camp, I guess.
Yep. They said you shunned for a couple weeks.
Yeah, they said
we don't get the ball to Jordan Mason.
Yeah, he said we
heard of that guy. Right now, you probably has no idea who that was until he
said, he didn't.
Like, who's this guy? Where's CMC at?
He learned quick after week 1.
Chargers destroyed the Panthers 26-3, and now Bryce Young is benched.
Dude, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of hyped to see Andy Dalton and see what he can do in that.
The words hyped to see Andy Dalton should never come out of anyone's mouth.
No.
I mean, hey, man, I think he could cook.
Why are you hyped to see Andy?
Imagine, watch, dude. Week 3, He's
Cool.
gonna cook. Week
Let's
3
see.
against the Raiders. Watch them beat the Raiders.
All right.
Watch Deontay have like 100-some yards.
I hope so. He's on my bench.
Yep, he's gonna stay there too.
He is, because I'm not putting him in. That's for sure. I got 4 points last week.
Yeah. Shit.
But Bryce got benched. It's a sad day, man,
is
because
a sad
Caleb,
day.
our buddy, he's down bad.
Dude, Caleb was.
They said they're not
going
going to
through it.
trade Bryce though, so he's just there.
I like some of the trade options though that I see.
But they ain't gonna do it though.
I don't want it.
So we'll see if they put him back in later.
They
in the
still,
year.
like, honestly, they still might want to build around him. Just get a better team
Maybe
around.
they're
They
just
want
trying to
get
just let him
boomed.
just get his swag back or something in practice. I have no
I
idea.
think I got my swagger back.
Oh no, he needs to figure it out mentally, because
He
I feel
does.
bad for my boy. It's just not.
Dude, he's got
not good.
I
Right
feel
now.
That
so
boy
bad for
was-
Alabama Smith.
That boy
It's
was not
just-
cracking no smile at practice the other
Was it?
day. I was getting weak.
You got everybody talking like positive about him, which is good. Like LeBron tweeted at him.
Yeah.
Got the fans telling you to keep your head up at practice is what I hate.
It's so crazy because they're the worst team, man.
I
Like,
know.
their owners
The
at
worst.
practice and everybody just hates them. They're like,
Oh, dude.
"This
I'd be down
outta
tremendous. Get him out.
So Saints are up next on the board. They destroyed the Cowboys
Ooh,
44-19 on the
Yeah.
road, and I hate the Saints.
Yeah, I know you hate the Saints,
But they have a new OC in Clint Kubiak, and he
has been
did-
cooking.
he did 2 interviews with the Chicago Bears, and they did not hire him.
Oh no.
Oh, he's heated.
Oh
Oh, you know
god! So
Jack's
Jack's
heated.
pissed about that. We'll talk about the Bears in a minute, but
Oh,
the
God.
Cowboys just couldn't stop a nosebleed, and Alvin
Nah,
Kamara
they
had
couldn't.
44 in fantasy.
4 tutties.
That's
It's
insane.
insane.
The Saints are averaging 40 something a game since going back to the Falcons game last year at the end of the year. And when teams have started out like that, they've all won the Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Dude, the Saints to the Super Bowl would be
and guess where the
insane.
Super Bowl is?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yep.
Where the script couldn't get any
The
crazy.
script could not get any crazier.
Welcome
There
to
we
the
go.
show, folks. If you haven't
Wow.
figured out now, the NFL's rigged.
The NFL is rigged, dude. Especially Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
This past week, that shit is rigged, dude. I love it for Hayden because the Falcons dubbed, but dude, when I saw all those bets on the
it's
Eagles, I was
rigged.
like, dude, there's no way they're letting this
Saquon
happen.
got that call in his headset. Vegas was like, "You better
Yeah,
drop that
you better drop
pass.
that pass,
said-
motherfucker. He said, "Oh my fingertips."
I got butter on him."
They got butt on him.
I will say
Wait,
though, he is the most. He is the running back with the most drops.
Yeah, he does
since,
drop.
like,
He does drop.
Since I think it was like
We'll-
2021 or
We'll
something.
talk about that one in a minute because there's some
Yeah.
stuff we want to dissect. But going up back to the NFC South, the Bucks went on the road as well, and they beat the Lions.
Bucks are looking good, dude.
Bucks are
20
really
to
good.
16. That was a rematch from the playoffs last year that they almost won. So Baker is QB1 in fantasy. Got him
Dude,
start.
yeah.
I got him starting this week, so we'll
Yeah.
see. But they're looking good, man.
They are looking really
Good.
good. I did not
Mhm.
expect that.
Yeah,
We definitely need to pull up to a game.
yeah. Sam
Falcons,
Laporta, where you at?
Dude, the Lions even have a tight end?
They don't know
That's
where
what I
he's
was
at.
asking all
apparently.
Sunday.
Apparently, the NFL doesn't know where tight ends are anymore
Dude,
because nobody's getting the
nobody.
ball.
Besides Brock Bowers.
That's
Brock
it.
Bowers is
Yeah.
kind of cooking a little bit.
He's insane.
Yeah.
He's insane. But
They're
no
actually
tight
using
ends
him.
are doing anything right now. So
None of them.
And I'm getting heated.
we got Kincaid, we got Pitts, we got all these young stars. Nobody's getting the ball.
All these young bucks. I got Sam Laporta, and I spent $100 on Isaiah Likely, and he got me 4 points.
That's
4
so funny.
points.
This guy thought that his budget was resetting every week. By the way,
And
so.
I have $1 for the rest of the season.
He's like, "What do you
Yeah.
have? What do you have, Patrick?" Or I got a rock.
I
I
got
got
rock.
Dude,
Dude, I can't believe that. That's
Cardinals
so
blow out the Rams 41-10, and
Dude, the
Marvin
Cardinals were
Harrison
looking so good.
had 2 tutties and like 100 yards in the first quarter.
I love that. I mean, dude, the Rams are looking like
They lost
one
their
of the
whole
worst-
offense.
One of the worst teams in the league
Look
at
at that.
this point.
What are you gonna do? You have no line and you got no wide receivers.
I'd love to see Rams versus Panthers.
Yeah, well,
That's heat.
That's a heat game.
That's peak
Ooh.
cinema right there,
I'm just
dude.
gonna put the money on the under. That's what I'm
Yep,
doing.
that's not nobody's scoring.
No,
The aura off that game is
It's
insane.
non-existent. It's not there.
there's no aura.
There's no aura when
You walk into that stadium, it's crickets.
Yeah, you walk into that stadium, you're
It's
like,
gonna they're gonna be like
this place.
David Tepper, you trying to play on the offensive line?
Oh. You're saying, hey, the coach. It's gonna be like Pee Wee football. The coach is gonna be on the field coaching the
Yeah.
team.
It's gonna be like baseball where the coaches were wearing the uniforms.
Yeah.
All the dads out there just, hey.
Hey,
Oh my god.
he's old. Somebody
Well,
throw that flag.
somebody throw that flag, man. We need some help.
That's holding.
So what else we
I
got
love
here?
it.
Last game, obviously Falcons Eagles, like we mentioned, 22
Yep.
to 21. Falcons did get
Rigged.
the win.
I knew the Falcons were gonna win the whole night.
Hayden, hey,
Yeah.
what before that during that game, what were you saying about your beloved Falcons?
Oh, you know, man, I had no faith. Zero.
Hay-
I had zero faith in the
Hayden
Falcons.
was the
Anti-Falcon.
most anti-Falcon I've
And guess
ever
what?
met in my entire life.
Nothing's changing. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing's
Nothing's
changed
changing.
until after week 3.
Until after the season. Nothing's changing.
Yeah, sure,
Nothing's
buddy.
changing.
Because
It's gonna be every week.
No,
and then
I'm
after
not-
they won, though,
oh, it's lit.
he's,
But guess
he's
what?
back
This
to
is the
Falcons
process.
fan.
No expectations during the game and before the game. And then
Yep.
if we win, we celebrate.
We celebrate.
We
Yep.
celebrate.
Hey, I like it.
That's
I
We
I'm
like
made
tired,
it.
I'm tired of having expectations
like
with the
it.
Falcons. But let's analyze the game.
Yep.
7-6 at halftime, I think was a score. Falcons were down. And then essentially it picked up. Kirk had 106 yards in the second half and 2 tutties, 13-16, I think. And Saquon and Bijan were having a great game on the ground. Drake London scored the game winner at the end after Kirk got the ball back.
Boo, 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 boo.
And before that, like we mentioned, Saquon dropped a third down pass and
Yep.
eventually stopped the clock, and they kicked a field goal. But if you would have caught that, they would have ran out the clock and won, or scored
Not
late or
even
whatever.
scored, yeah.
But
I was
to say
saying, I
all
was seeing
that,
a lot of people say that they should have just ran it
Should've just
and
ran
then tush push in the
Right.
4th down.
so that was a very rigged thing to see.
It
I
was.
mean,
a
it
very,
felt like
it
it was
honestly
crazy.
dude.
But at the end of the day, the Eagles fans are just pissed at their coach
Yeah.
and the decision making on that right there. So,
Yeah.
but to
I
say
did
all
see a lot
that,
of
they
that.
kicked the Falcons. I'm gonna give them some credit where they played good defense the whole game. I know Jalen
Yeah.
had a solid game rushing, had 80 yards, and threw some good balls. And Devontae Smith played good, but they kicked a lot of field goals in the red zone because Jesse Bates broke up a Devontae Smith touchdown, and they stopped him a couple other times. So they held them to field goals a lot. And essentially, it's just tough to do. Like, you got to score touchdowns in this league, but the Falcons did the same thing. They kicked 3 Younghoe Koo field goals. But the one thing I want to talk about at the end, Kirk went bang, bang, bang. He got a first down
Yeah.
completion to Kyle Pitts. It set things off, and then they got
Yep.
Mooney on 2 corner routes that
Which is
instantly
correct.
put him on the 12-yard line.
Yeah.
Then they threw
was
that
disgusting.
Ray McLeod pass that could have been PI, but it wasn't. And then it was in the end zone in like the middle. They didn't call it. So then the next play was the Drake London touchdown. He shook Darius Slay and then scored.
He shook him out his boots.
He got the celebration penalty, which was kind of crazy. There's 2 penalties in the game that happened that were suspect. There was one where Jalen Hurts ran the ball, got a first down, spiked it, and they called him for a flag because you're like, it's a delay a game if you spike the ball during the game, apparently. So because you're trying to mark the ball as a ref, and it's a delay. So
yeah.
they did that. Then they got Drake London for the celebration on the sideline. And then it made Koo kick a 48-yard extra point.
Dude,
to
that
go
was
up.
scary.
That was the
like,
game winner,
Yeah,
by the
that
way.
was.
A 48. And I had flashbacks from when I went
know
to
you
the
did.
Panthers-Falcons game a few years ago. And the Panthers scored on a DJ Moore Hail Mary. The crowd
I
was silent.
Oh, man. I was
DJ
waiting
Moore
on that.
ripped his helmet off, gets a flag. They get back 40-some yard extra point, just like the Koo game a couple nights
They
ago.
missed it.
And Panthers missed. They go to OT. Falcons win after another missed kick. It was crazy. But
That was wild.
Falcons get a stop. Jesse Bates gets a pick at the end, and they win. Falcons now play primetime again next week against the Chiefs. So
Yeah.
we're going to talk about the games now, week 3. Seth, if you want to pull that up.
Yep.
We got a big slate of games, but we're only going to focus on some of the good ones. Bears
Thursday
and
night one is
Colts.
mid. Yep.
Yeah, Thursday night
Bears
one
and Colts.
is whatever. Jets should be able to beat the Patriots if
Yep,
they don't.
I got Jets.
Whatever. Jets should win that though. So
Jets.
Bears and Colts, I feel like is a good game because the Colts need this one desperately.
Yeah, Colts are looking a little rough.
They're struggling on defense. They can't stop Malik Willis apparently, and they threw multiple interceptions again. So we'll see how they play against a good Bears defense.
Mm-hmm.
I will lean the Bears because their defense plus DeForest Buckner just got ruled out for the Colts.
Yeah, I got the Bears.
Yeah. I think they're gonna have another solid defensive outing, but Caleb Williams will play better. That's my prediction.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gonna be scary though. I mean, Colts need this win, so they're gonna try to play as good as they possibly can, obviously. But
Oh no, they're gonna come out swinging for sure.
Yeah.
but the thing
They're
that
gonna be
scares
ready.
me, the Bears just have a really good secondary, and AR cannot read the defense to save his life right now, and I need him to figure it out. For
Yeah, I
fantasy.
know you do, bud.
But
I
I'm
like
gonna
the
go
Bears
Bears.
in that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm going Bears.
Eagles, Saints, on the road at the Saints.
Mm.
Eagles need this one after losing to the Falcons. Saints obviously are on a tear.
On a tear, dude. I think
I'm
they
going
could
New
win
Orleans
it too.
because
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
going
Saints too.
New Orleans has a better defense and their offense looks better, quite frankly, and they're at home. So give me the Saints.
I like it.
Give me the Saints all day.
Chargers and Steelers is a battle of undefeateds. Also a battle
it
of
to me.
defense. And
Steelers all day.
Chargers have a. This is one thing I'm going to talk about that I feel like is big. So the Steelers can pass rush like nobody's business with
They
TJ
can.
Watt. But the good thing about the Chargers is that they have two All-Pro left and right tackles.
It
So
don't matter.
they
No matter. It don't matter.
here's the deal though. Let me say this.
With
Week
Joe
one, the Chargers played the Raiders. Max Crosby just destroyed the Ravens last week. But when Max Crosby went against Joe Alt, he did nothing. Nothing.
Max Crosby, but guess what?
Max Crosby's a beast. Don't disrespect Max Crosby.
Matt Crosby ain't TJ Watt.
But he's damn near close. That's the thing.
Uh,
That's
but
the
he's
thing.
not
He's
there.
a monster.
He's not,
But
but
he's
he's
not there.
close. He puts up ridiculous stats, and he's a beast. He did it last week. I'm just gonna say that to
Yeah,
me,
I mean, you got a point, but
to me, this is the thing. I'm gonna be honest, Seth, and I know it's whatever. I'm going Chargers because I think
That's all right, man.
week 2 and week 3, I saw a stat
Who's
where
that pick 'em?
all the underdogs in week 2 and week 3 are like crazy good and against the spread and on the money line. So early in the year, plus you got a good offensive line and a good defense with the Chargers. I think that travels well, and the Steelers can't score right now. So I'm
don't
going
need to.
Chargers in a close game.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
I'll step in here.
Yeah, step in, Cody. Let me know. Put Hayden in his place for me.
The Steelers are winning this game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can't wait to circle back on this.
Let me
I
tell
can't
you.
either. And rub it
tell-
in.
We'll see about that.
Let me tell you why.
All right, yeah, let him know.
This is the game that J.K. Dobbins comes to earth.
Yeah, I
No.
like that. I love that.
The Steelers going to stop them. They're going to force them. They're going to force Herbert to throw. There's
Okay.
going to be some drop passes.
Hopefully.
And this game is going to be remembered as the George Pickens game.
Yeah. Yes, sir, it is.
All right.
Yep.
Give me
I
the
like that.
Steelers to
I
steal a
think
dub.
I think it's about time Patrick Queen steps up and does a little something this game.
We'll see
We're gonna
about
need
that.
him. We're gonna need him.
You got George Pickens and Roman Wilson. I think is coming back, so that will be interesting.
I can't wait to see
I'm
him.
telling you right now, the Chargers defense is looking good. You got Bosa, you got Mac, you got Derwin James, and Asante Samuel Jr.
Love some Mac. That's some
I'm just
mac
telling
and
you,
cheese.
they got a new
some
defense.
mac
They got
and cheese.
they got Harbaugh in there. They got Harbaugh in there, and he is doing something.
Najee
I'm
finna
telling
turn
you.
him to some mac and cheese, boy.
I'm telling you, I feel good about the Chargers. I really do.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Steelers just got to show me some on offense, man.
We going through this week. We've been holding out the playbook. Arthur
right.
Smith, you know about that.
Arthur Smith, I got no faith in that guy. So
I don't either. But
I'm just telling you right now, y'all got to score. That's all you
Yeah,
got to do.
that's-
Just figure it out.
if we don't, we lose.
This should be another under that hits though in this game. But Lions
see that.
at the Cardinals should be a fun game.
That should be a good one.
Uh,
I don't
I like that
know
one.
really right now what's gonna happen. I feel like the Cardinals are gonna keep playing good on offense,
this
but
could be like a game of the week type
it
vibe.
could. It really could.
Which one
be.
is game of the week? Is that the Ravens in Dallas?
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
Probably.
But Cardinals, I think, got a real shot at home to beat the Lions. I mean, they
Yeah,
really
no,
do.
100%. Especially after the Lions just lost to the Bucks.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be a
Cardinals
fun
play
game.
like they do
Sure.
last week. Cardinals are definitely winning.
Yeah, I'm kind of up in the air on this one. Oh, man.
I
let
like
me-
Cardinals, dude.
Cardinals are the
Mm.
underdogs. They're underdogs by 3. Over unders 51.5.
Damn. So they're low-key expecting a little shootout. A little bit.
Low-key,
A little small
low-key.
shootout.
And for the NFL at least.
You know what?
Yeah.
Give me the Lions.
Yeah.
I do like the Lions because I'm thinking about Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, I like that
Kyler-
defense.
Kyler
But Kyler's
running.
a dipper, cuz.
Dude, he be
That boy's tiny. That
The
boy
one-
will
That's-
dip.
one thing though, I do like the Lions defense.
That's
I do.
I love the Lions defense. They're really
Brian
good.
Branch and Terran Arnold are looking good. You know, I don't know. It's gonna be a tough game.
I'm going Cardinals.
Ugh.
I'm going Cardinals.
This is a hard
James
game.
Conner,
man.
James Conner's been running the ball. You know,
He's
been
been
running the ball,
toting
man.
that rock.
Marvin Harrison looking
Hey.
great.
He learned from the best. What can I say?
All right.
Just for that, I'm gonna go with the Lions. I don't know why, but I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go with the Lions now.
All right. Yep.
Give me
That's another free pick 'em.
I can't wait to just run this. Oh, first of all, Cody, can you please make your picks? You didn't make a single pick last week.
Oh, yeah, I will.
Yep,
right-
Cody.
Right now, I'm 17-15, Seth's
I'm
16 and 16.
I'm mid.
We're
The
both mid.
definition
Well,
of
here's the
mid
deal.
here.
I wanted to bring this up. Last week, nobody was good. There was the most
No,
upsets
dude.
we've seen in a minute.
ever seen.
Griffin
Vegas
was the
pocketing.
best at 9 and 7. So that
Vegas
shows
was
you.
pocketing that shit.
Yeah, they were.
Oh,
So
wait.
anyways.
Wait, this week I play Cody in the Dynasty.
Yeah.
You were projected like the same. too.
We are 134, 133. Des Moines
Yep.
shower handle projected up by 1.
Let's go.
I love our profile pictures in that, dude. They're
The
so
AI
funny.
generated.
Like I
Dude,
said,
it's so good.
So the game of the week is Ravens and Cowboys.
Yeah,
Now,
that is
yeah.
gonna be a good
the
one.
Ravens cannot go 0-3 because if you go
Dude,
0-3, you're not
I
making
hope
the
they do.
playoffs.
I hope they do.
Well, here's the deal: they can't block, and Micah Parsons is coming for blood.
He
So I
is.
don't know what to expect other than that Cowboys defense to be pissed off after what happened last week. And for
Yeah.
that reason, I'm gonna go Cowboys. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
they
like
can.
Cowboys.
If
But,
they can,
ew, if CeeDee Lamb doesn't play,
yeah,
I'm
but I
going
think he will. I
Ravens.
think he's playing.
I think so. I hope so.
I'm gonna go Cowboys because
Or
the
else I
Ravens.
lost to
I'm telling you,
Cody.
Ravens cannot block. They're struggling running the ball. They just lost the Raiders at home. They're going on the road to a pissed off Cowboys team. I'm
is
going
true.
Cowboys, man.
I like it.
yeah,
like it.
Cody.
I like the Cowboy. This game just feels like a Cowboys game. You know, it's like
it's a pick 'em right now. It's
I know.
-1 is the spread for the
no.
Ravens.
I'm going Cowboys. I like them at home, like you said, pissed off.
Yeah,
Give me the boys.
yeah. Give me the home underdog right there. But the
Mm,
Ravens
I
really
like
go
it.
0-3, man. It's GG's
Yeah,
for real because it's gonna
It's-
take a lot to come back in that division.
they'll have to just start racking wins. Just
Yeah.
1 win, 2 win, 3 win. They
They'll,
gotta.
they'll realistically have to sweep the Browns and split at
Don't
least
say
for
it.
the Steelers and sweep the Bengals. That's all their hope
If
is.
they can't block right now, and then they come play
Good
us,
luck. They ain't
they're
winning.
cooked.
They're
Yeah,
not
no,
winning
they're
a game
cooked.
against y'all.
Mm-mm.
So we'll see how that goes. Another game. I don't want to talk about all these games, but just the biggest
Yeah.
one is left. I feel like is because I would say it would have been Niners and Rams, but now Rams have
Yeah,
nobody.
It's
so
cooked. That one's
Chiefs and
cooked.
Falcons Sunday night. I think a lot of the money is coming early on the Chiefs, which I kind of like that for the Falcons.
Who would have guessed,
I
man?
like that a lot. But the one thing is, obviously, they rig everything for Mahomes. It looks
Yep.
like, and on prime time, you never know. I think Mahomes. and
Dude,
Kelsey
but
could just
imagine
go
the
crazy.
storyline with the Falcons beating the Eagles and the Chiefs.
I
That would
love
be
it.
so huge. They did
What do
just
you-
sign Kareem Hunt. I saw that.
They did, but he probably won't play.
Peyton was quick to. Man, I checked this morning. He had him in his flex already. He's still a free agent.
Dude, is Peyton crazy?
Dude, Peyton's team in the 12 is looking rough.
It's looking rough. Yeah, I
I
picked him
get
up in the
so weak.
dynasty. I can't lie.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
he's
just
just
because I
a-
think he could be
He's
good
just
later.
the Shaq of the NFL.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what?
What, man?
What,
Let's say
Cody?
it.
Oh gosh.
What?
Give me the Falcons.
Yeah, I like
Dude.
the Falcons here, dude.
I like the
Uh,
Falcons. I like it. I like them to keep it close. I like Kirk to pop a perk and go throw some dimes.
Yes, yes, Cody. I like that.
Well, I don't. I think,
Okay.
I think the Chiefs are gonna.
Kirk
win.
gonna have about 4 tutties, 300 yards.
It opened
while
up.
me-
It opened up. The line did at -5. Now it's at 3.5.
Yep, makes sense.
Matchup predictor on ESPN: 58% Kansas City. Now they don't have Pacheco. Falcons defense is
don't.
looking good. You know
Yeah.
they don't have Hollywood Brown.
That's
don't.
what I'm talking about.
Rasheed
Travis
and
Kelsey's
Xavier
looking
Worthy,
like
though,
he's doing
are
nothing.
looking scary.
And y'all can get to the quarterback. Y'all gonna get the patty.
Their tackles are struggling, I will say. So Judon can get back there, but the one thing I'm worried about is Chris Jones on the defense
Chris
and
Jones.
McDuffie and those guys. So I feel like
McDuffie's so good,
he's
dude.
so
Trent
good, man. He's one of the best
beast.
corners.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kurt's got to play like he did in the second half against the Eagles if they want to win. So
I agree.
I'm gonna go Chiefs for now, just because I got to do it, just to keep the vibes
All
right
right.
for the Falcons. I
No.
got to give him that rat poison, or not? I can't give him that rat poison.
Falcons
Can't give it to
win.
him.
They ain't winning, man.
Falcons winning.
Falcons
like
cover
it.
spread.
Well, they can cover the spread.
Yeah, that's
maybe.
easy.
Well, I don't know if it's easy. It's 3.5.
No, it's easy.
It's easy.
Well, that's pretty much it. I mean, fantasy. What do we want to talk about there, Cody? What
Oh.
do you
Oh,
want
I
to do?
mean, we're just cooked.
I mean,
I'm 2-0.
I've already packed up and left camp. Like
Brandon
I'm
Ayuk
going
to the moon.
I'm going
cool.
I'm going home.
I like Williams on the Lions. He's looking really good.
Jameson Williams, yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
I like
that little
Evan
sleeper
McPherson.
pick. That honestly might be like the Puka, even though everybody kind of already knows him a little bit.
Yeah.
Just maybe because of Alabama, but
He's second in the league in receiving yards.
yeah, he's going crazy right now.
Yeah.
like him a lot.
So we'll see how it goes. I think we're gonna just be dealing with injuries for a long time this year. So
Yeah, this is looking.
But
like it's gonna be
I've
a long
already
year.
last week. I mean, I won because I didn't play somebody that played well. But I will say I picked up Charbonnet and Mason, who both had 17. So if Charbonnet plays again this week, he'll probably be in my flex because it sounds like Ken Walker's oblique injury is going to be monitored close, and he could not play again. So
I don't
if that's the
think he'll
case, I'll probably be rolling out Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones, and Zach Charbonnet. So there's my running backs.
Wow,
They've been good. They've been good.
They have been good.
I can't even complain.
You're
and
2-0, man.
I
You
barely
ugly.
though. It's ugly. I mean, it's ugly.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Trust
man.
me.
Hey, you know what? That perks
I'm
of being in
gonna
the
start
commish.
making some
Your perks
trades.
of being the commish comment is
Perks of
crazy.
being in the commish.
That's a crazy comment.
That's a crazy.
Hey, sometimes you get lucky, man. After all that hard work in the off
That's
season,
not.
fantasy guys just got to
Yeah,
reward you.
that's it, man.
But
Well,
Drake
that's
London
not-
and Devontae Smith played good. They both scored and had like
Yeah,
good
that
games.
was huge for
I
you.
needed that. But the one thing is, I hope Baker balls out for me because it's like I didn't play him last week. He had a good game, but
Yeah.
now he
You put
should
him
go
in.
off against the Broncos. But usually
No.
when I
He's
put in
gonna
somebody, he's gonna drop a dud. So
He's gonna drop a 0.
A 0.
But I hope Jordan Love plays soon. It sounds like he is. So.
Yeah,
Please.
that's true.
Anyways,
Cody.
I don't know.
Please, I need him.
We'll see, dude.
I don't
I
need
don't
him
got
down this week.
nobody.
Oh man, who do y'all play in the 12 man?
Oh,
in the ESPN league?
I play Brennan.
oh no.
Brandon seems bad right now.
Or play Brett.
Brett's I don't know. Brett's kind of banged
He's
up, isn't
alright.
he?
Yeah,
He's got
he is
wait,
pretty
no
banged up.
Puka.
He's got no Puka, no Hawkinson, no Higgins.
Oh, you should win that, dude.
Hopefully. Knowing me,
I mean, Seth,
I might lose.
Cody's projected about the same as Brennan.
Woo!
I'm projected to beat him by 10.
First win. Let's
Brandon
go.
Ayuk's got projected 17 is what I love.
Well, I'm gonna give y'all some words of encouragement. 2 years ago, I was 0-5. I made it all the way to the top 3 to end the year.
You did.
I can do
You
it.
did.
Yep, you got to go on a
Perks of being
run.
the commish.
Yeah, first be in the commission, man. You get all the insights first. So yeah,
That's
the waiver is crazy right now. The bidding, I
is.
like bidding on people.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
I
Seth.
love bidding.
You didn't know, but
I love bidding so much.
I hate it.
I love it. It's so much fun.
Somebody in our dynasty spent $200 on Andy Dalton.
I haven't even looked at the Dynasty waiver.
Dude, it's great. It's horrible right now.
I don't want to.
There's
I'm just gonna
nobody.
put all my money.
There's nobody, man.
Yep.
I mean, it is what it is.
If somebody gets hurt, might as well just cook it.
I'm hearing some rumors that some people might be blowing up their team, so just be on the lookout for that. If you need some players from some of these bad teams, I mean, just go ahead and look into some of those guys.
We'll do.
I will.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is another episode of the Muffed Sports Show. Thanks for tuning in, as always.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
I'm Hayden Haynes. That's Seth Killen and Cody Hart.
Yes,
and
sir.
We're out.
Roll Tide.
Peace.
Roll Tide, bro.
Yep.